I want to buy assets that I know are going to create cash flow, that I know are going to give me great tax benefits and other benefits, and they're going to create leverage for me, and that are going to potentially appreciate, right, and help me increase my net worth. And when you combine all those things together, that's why I love real estate. Now, I know that's not everybody's jam, and that's totally fine. But once again, this just comes down to you figuring out where you want to go. Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to achieve long-term financial goals. One of my favorite quotes that I think I've ever heard when it comes to money is, or I guess in general, just achievement in life, is people way overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, and they way underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. So when you break it down like that, I think we need to think about having more of a long-term view. As a financial coach, one of the things that I run into all the time is the fact that people are constantly thinking from this short-term perspective. They're looking for tax deferrals today. As an example, they think about, how do I get a tax deferral? So they want to jam money into a qualified account like an IRA or a 401k. And once again, I'm not saying these things are bad, that a 401k is bad or an IRA is bad, as long as you understand all the moving parts in the decision, right? Like a lot of times people don't realize that, we're deferring taxes today, but it's not a tax deduction. It looks and feels like a tax deduction because you're reducing your taxes this year. But a lot of times, because we're having this short-term vision, we're thinking about how do we reduce our taxes this year, we don't realize that we're putting that money into a place where we potentially increase our lifetime tax liability. Now, I don't know about you, but if I know that I'm never going to get out of taxes, and this is just one example, if I know I'm never going to get out of taxes, I want to make sure that I pay my taxes, and I pay them when my overall tax liability is going to be at its lowest potential, at least, and while there are no guarantees, the lowest potential risk, right? With all the variables taken into consideration. And I think when we look around and we look at the debt, the unfunded liabilities, $30 trillion in debt, $150 trillion of unfunded liabilities, Social Security is underfunded, interest rates are low, they're going up, the cost to service our debt as a nation is going to go higher, tax revenue is going to have to go up, and so that tells me taxes are going to go up. So this is one of those examples where, people are thinking short term when it's going to have a real negative long-term implication on their financial life, their goals or objectives, and their ability to achieve what they want to achieve. And let's face it, if money is just a tool to achieve our goals, we need to think about all of these moving parts that money is going to play in that role to achieve our goals. It is the number one tool in our life. So how do we achieve our long-term financial goals? That's really what it comes down to, right? If we think about it from a long-term perspective, we're never going to achieve anything that we don't measure, right? And I love the statement, anything that we measure is going to improve. And here's the deal. If we don't know where we want to go, if you are not 1,000% clear on what you want your life to look like, then any road will get you there, right? Listen, I could throw 1,000 cliches at you and one-liners at you on this topic alone. The bottom line here is, if you don't live your dream, if you're not intentional about living your dream, if you don't say, hey, I know what I want, I know that I want to be financially free by the time I'm 50, I know that I want to do that through real estate or through day trading or through crypto investing or through, whatever it is. Listen, I'm not here to push my thing on you. I'm here to say you need to be really intentional on what you want to accomplish. What is that goal? Do you want to have enough passive income to be financially free, to be able to show up more powerfully in your life? Do you want to own 20 investment properties that are going to turn out cash flow that is going to get you to where you want to go? Do you want to be a Bitcoin billionaire by the time a certain time frame, hits? Do you want, what does that look like? Do you want to build your business into a certain stage or to a certain level? The bottom line is you have to figure out exactly what you want to accomplish, and then you have to reverse engineer a plan to get there, right? That's my biggest challenge with most people in the financial space is they think, well, I'm going to put money into a 401k or an IRA. I'm just going to stuff money into a Roth, and I'm just going to save and save and save and put money in there, and it's going to buy and hold, and I'm going to have no real active participation in what the results of that money are. And I promise you, the one thing I can say is if you play a passive role with your money and you're not actively involved in understanding all the nuances and all the moving parts of your money, you're never going to achieve your goals, right? If you don't know and you don't have 100% clarity on what your dreams are, what you want your life to look like, what your objectives are, when you want to get there, what the time frames are, then you're not ever going to be able to reverse engineer a plan to get there. And so what will happen is there's nothing to measure, right? There's nothing for you to focus on year in, year out. You have no benchmarks. You have no metrics to be able to go in and figure out what you need to do year one, where you should be year 2, year 5, year 10, year 15. And if you don't have that, then what happens is you wind up just kind of walking around in the dark. You find, you take a wrong turn on the path and you don't have a GPS that gets you back on track. You have no guidance to make sure that you're on the right path to achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve. And what I love about this mindset of how to achieve your financial goals, it has less to do with money and more to do with your mindset. It has more to do with your mindset and with your intention. There's a reason I call my company, and I usually have my Life 180 shirt on. I don't have it. It's like a habit to grab my shirt. But there's a reason I call my company Life 180. It's living intentionally for excellence, LIFE. 180 is about living a life 180 degrees differently than the rest of the world. 95% of the people in this world are not going to be able to maintain their standard of living when they retire. Just look at the statistics. It's it's a travesty. To me, the real pandemic isn't the stuff going on in the health crisis in this country. The real pandemic is what people are doing with their money, their relationship with their money, their lack of understanding with money, and how they are preparing intentionally to get to where they want to go. Because what happens if you're not intentional about this, if everybody in your community is not intentional about this, what happens is we become slaves to the system. You become a burden on society, and you become out of control of the results in your life. And I don't know about you, but that creates a lack of dignity in most people. And so what I would love is for you to think about that. And once again, this is not about me. This is about you. This is about you figuring out, what do you want to accomplish? How do you reverse engineer a plan to get there? I don't know. This is one of the reasons I love cash flow real estate. This is one of the reasons that I love it, because the market goes through cycles. It goes up, it comes down. A lot of people are worried that we're going through this down cycle in the real estate market, and it could be true, right? But what I do know is if we think long term, and if we have a process and a system, real estate, the one thing we know is that people are always going to need houses to live in, and whether it's appreciation or whether it's cash flow through the properties, there's always going to be a need. So I want to buy assets that I know are going to create cash flow, that I know are going to give me great tax benefits and other benefits, and that are going to create leverage for me, and that are going to potentially appreciate, right, and help me increase my net worth. And when you combine all those things together, that's why I love real estate. Now, I know that's not everybody's jam, and that's totally fine. But once again, this just comes down to you figuring out where you want to go. And if real estate is something for you, I did write a book called Cash Flow Hacking. Check it out. You can go in the link in the description below, and you can get a copy for free. You can go to Amazon, get it for $20, or you can go down in the link below, get it for $8.95. I'll pay for the book. You just pay for the shipping and handling for our distribution house to get it out to you. But the bottom line is my encouragement to you: if you want to achieve your financial goals, don't worry so much about the money right now. Figure out what that life is that you want to live. Reverse engineer a plan to get there, and then you can figure out, what do you need your money to do for you? Then you can start saving, investing, budgeting, managing your money, creating benchmarks, and having a systematic plan to execute on year in, year out, month in, month out, heck, even week in, week out, right? So you could be really intentional about the way you live your life, about the way you handle your money, and you can play an active role in your success, which is going to empower you to show up in a bigger way in your life, which is going to have a ripple effect that is nothing but positive in you, your family, your community, in the organizations that you're involved with. And to me, that's what's going to help elevate everything that's going on in this world. We need more people living more intentionally with their money to accomplish their goals, and that will have a really positive ripple effect. So that's all I got on this. So if you have any questions, comment in the comment section below. I'll do my best to engage with every single comment. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. That way you get notified every time I launch a new video. If you found value in this video, please smash that like button to get it out there to the algorithm. I would, share the video if you think somebody needs to see this message. And that's it. Also, if you haven't already, go check me out, Real Chris Kirkpatrick on TikTok. I'm starting to do a lot more short content there that I think will help a lot of people as well. So that's it for now. Have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk to you on the next video. Take care.